All right. Yo, peace to the knowledge born, man, calling today's mathematics. Today's degree is wisdom, power, refinement, all born in equality. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling from San Quentin. I'm interviewing with my sister, Jay Rene, who runs PrisonRadio.com. And we're going to be talking about black men and black women relationships. You know, so how you doing, Jay?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, brother?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm glad I can have this interview with you to, elaborate on things as far as the relationship between black men and black women.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we've been doing a little movement in our podcast and things of that nature. However, to hear a woman's voice and to hear a woman speak from the perspective that you speak from will be a greater influence on the relationship of black men and black women. So I would like to ask you, what is your take on black men and black women as our situation stands in this society and in these places which we call society?
I think the current state of the dynamic between black men and black women is extremely stressed and divided. It seems like black men and black women are the main perpetrators of false narratives on a grand scale, meaning it's usually our own that are saying, black men do this or black women do that, and it'd be negative, So I think there's a disconnect. I think that the way that we communicate with each other, especially on public forums and even in just day-to-day life, is got a big wedge between us, and it's really sad. Some of the things that I see on the internet, it just takes me aback, just the hatred that seems to be brewing and the distance that's between the black man.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So that's what I see, a major disconnect.
Right, okay, so you said ignorant disconnect?
No, a major disconnect.
Major disconnect. Okay, so let me get a clear picture of what you're saying. You're saying that it outside of the things that has happened to us previously and throughout our lifetime, we have developed a mechanism within ourselves to where we're spewing self-hatred towards each other and not knowing who we are as a people.
Yes.
Is that okay? So do you think that this stems from the history of slavery and the history of the brutality of our people, and even today's society, those of us, brothers and sisters, that are not intelligent enough to see that we are mates for life from the universe?
Mm-hmm.
And in order for us to continue as a people, we have to recognize and protect our women, as well as our women respect and protect our men and children, as well as we protect our women and children. So I wanted to ask you, do you think this problem of self-hatred and self-denial of our women stems from the brutalities of American society in the forms of escalated slavery? I would say escalated slavery because it still happened.
Yeah, I do. I definitely think that's where it started. A lot of the self-hatred that people have came from things that were taught and forced into us back in slavery days. But I think it's a lot deeper than that. If you think about it, when you had the Panther Party, even despite all of the things that did happen during slavery, it's always been those that are very aware of black love and unity and all of those things. So these type of people still exist. You and I are proof of that, and other brothers and sisters that are on board with that. But you have a part that are still psychologically bound by the effects of slavery. You know, we've talked about it before, post-traumatic slave disorder. I do believe that's a very real thing that could be deep-rooted in people. But I think also, like, different things and different avenues of life have created these type of spaces to continue to exist. For example, fathers not being in the home can cause issues within the family unit. Mothers that might be absent can cause feelings and issues that, you know, people grow up into these things. You know, if you have mommy issues and you're a little boy or a little girl, you grow up into a woman or a man with these same type of issues, and then of course they spill out into you, into the world, into your relationships. And if you have children, it just keeps going and going. So I think that a lot of cycle breaking isn't happening when it comes to the, you know, the hate, the self-hatred and things like that. So I think it's a combination of things, but I do believe it started there. I think that broken homes have assisted, and I think that just the, like, sometimes, like, as a woman, okay, dating black men, I could have easily been the type to say, oh, all black men are this and black men are that, but that's not true. If even if I had dated, every man I dated had an issue, I had my father and my grandfather and my uncles and my male cousins that I could look to of what I believe a black man is and should be, to know that all black men are something. So I think it comes from a state of brokenness. First we were broken, and then continued brokenness continues that type of, you know, atmosphere for this hate to exist.
Right. Now, I can get with that. I can see that because, you know, the trajectory in which we was going, it changed because, and it's a good thing because we're talking about self-analyzation.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, these things happen through the process of slavery, and these things continue to happen through the process of American society.
Mm-hmm.
In the way America demonstrates how a black man is supposed to conduct himself with his women, and how a black woman is supposed to conduct herself with a black man. And society's demonstration of this and education of this, because we have been given an education by American society in somewhat of a sense to how we treat our women.
You have 6.
All right. Yo, peace, this knowledge going back again, you know what I'm saying? I had to make an adjustment call. My sister heard back, you know what I'm saying? And we talking, you know, today's degree is knowledge, power, refinement, all born equality. And I'm calling from San Quentin, interviewing my sister Jay Rene, who's CEO and executive producer of PrisonRiotRadio.com, as well as other avenues that she has, cooking up such a beautiful sister. You know what I'm saying? And her king is making movies and things of that nature. So we was in a discussion of black men and black women relationships. And the last thing that I was talking about is how, like, she just reminded me that America's system has aided, America's processing system has aided in the removal of the black man from the family. And so this is what we're going to pick up. Do you want to elaborate on that, sis?
Yeah, like I was telling you, when you really think about it, since we, you know, some were brought here as slaves, the separation of the family is something that was always done. And I think, of course, it had a psychological effect then, and it still has an effect now. You can look at us and tell that it's still causing division in some, not everybody, but it's still an amount of division there. And it goes on to with, you know, the prison system, with these different systems that supposedly are supposed to help women. But in order to receive help, there can't be a man present. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that aid in the separation and destruction of the family unit, which is the most powerful thing.
Right. No doubt. You know, the black family is the most powerful thing. You know what I'm saying? Like in our lessons, we are number one student enrollment lessons is who is the original man. The original man is the Asiatic black man, to make it all the cream of the planet Earth, follow civilization and God of the universe. And from that point, you know, the black woman is his mate, and his child is his future. The child makes him immortal. Mm-hmm. And so the black family is the universal family altogether, man, woman, and child. And so that is an actual statement. However, you know, we have college people, we have executive black people now. They got people playing basketball, billionaires, that will beg to differ. Everybody has a choice in the American system. And they will say, well, the American system gave us an opportunity to where we got college-educated kids, we got kids going to college, you got kids playing basketball, you got kids making movies, you got kids being police officers, you got all these black opportunities. So why is it that you and I see the system as an oppressive system toward us, and them people that I just explained has just caught on to us being oppressed, or to just caught on to the 1975 Human Populations Act, where the United States government passed an act, a bill to eradicate and eliminate the black family. And that means that bringing people that's Ethiopian descent, look darker than you and I, and labeling them white. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I think that there are a lot of successful black people, and once upon a time one couldn't imagine it being this many successful black and brown people. I definitely understand that. And that's why it's important that those of us that are successful, that are doing things, and success, please remember, isn't just managed by having millions in the bank. Success can be getting out of a situation to where the statistics says that you would have been dead at 21 or dead at 19 or something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's why it's important that those of us that are successful reach back, because not everybody has the same type of opportunities. Okay, I'm going to use an example of a family that I knew. There was a grandmother and a grandfather. The grandfather was a drunk. The grandmother was a drunk, and she popped pills. She had children. Most of all her children were either on drugs or alcoholics as well, okay? And then you have their children. Now, if there's nobody stepping in to help these children do different, if not the parents or the grandparents or somebody reaching in to save the situation, you have another generation that's going to do the same exact thing. And that in this particular scenario, there are 4 children, and only one of the children decided to teach her children different, even though herself still had an abuse problem. And now she can see in her children the differences. But the other children that didn't have this direct help of doing something different, seeing something really different, and having hands-on, are falling right in line with being set up to be dependent on alcohol and drugs. So everybody doesn't have the same opportunities. Everybody still don't have the same skill set. Everybody can't run a football and get paid by the NFL or play basketball. Not everybody has opportunities to go to school or even know how to apply for a college loan. If nobody is helping them, they're going to be stuck in their situation, whatever they're seeing around them day to day. And then you have a few that be like, I want better than this. But it's because they seen something that motivated that. You know what I mean? So that's what I say. Everybody don't have the same opportunities. And if someone is sitting in a high place and can look down and say, well, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't you? Who are you assisting to help do anything? Who are you assisting in a situation, an impoverished neighborhood, to have something to look up to want to do something different, to want to go somewhere else? That's what I say.
Right. Yeah, now, and in that context, that's a beautiful expression because, me and you, we dialogue, we talk all the time because you're my sister and you're my family, and I know things about you as far as your king being in the situation that I am in, not in a specific situation, but inside the interior cipher, which is in me, incarcerated. Mm-hmm. And I want first of all say I appreciate you for being there for him and the family, you know what I'm saying, and showing that, hey, even though I'm successful, I'm reaching back into, taking care of my husband, taking care of so forth from his family, and making sure that we as a family remain strong as a unit. Right. So I want to applaud you for that, and I want to appreciate you for that, and tell you I appreciate you for that. And we need more black women to do that, whether or not they're successful in a sense that economics, or whether or not they're successful in a sense of a family upbringing. Right. And so when you speak on success,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Success with
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Success would mean knowledge itself. Success would mean enlightenment. Success would mean elevation, evolution, and things of that nature. All right, now, hey, peace, this knowledge going again, calling back, letting y'all know I'm sitting here interviewing my sister, J. Rene, who executive CEO, executive producer of PrisonRideRadio.com, and a host of other avenues in which she's reaching back into the black community to enhance our understanding of black men, black women, as well as bringing forth the unification of the black family. So, Jay Rene, how you doing again, sis?
I'm still doing good, bruh. Fighting against the machine.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay. All right. Now, before we last cut off, we was talking about the knowledge itself. Mm-hmm. And the knowledge itself consisting of enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, enlightenment, whether you want to call it, the Buddhists call it enlightenment, the Christians call it spirituality, awakeness, or whatever you want to call it. The Jews call it some same thing, but it's knowledge itself. And for the black family, a lot of us tend to stray away from religious courses and religious ideas and concepts. A lot of us tend to believe in that stuff. And a lot of us that are aware of it, knows that where it came from, we don't mess with it. However, we don't disrespect it. We look for the truth in it. And the truth in everything, first of all, is the knowledge itself. And like I say again, we are the original people of the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Gods of the universe and things of that nature. So in being that, we have to understand that the knowledge of self, the knowledge of me, myself, I must give you, my earth, black women, per se, the knowledge of myself in order for you to pass on to our seeds the knowledge of us, so that we, you and I, will remain immortalized, because life is a continuation. There is no death in life. Life is a continuation. And just a small sample of the knowledge itself. My child, my kids will have the same texture of skin, the same kind of fingers, the same kind of eyes, the same kind of mind, the same kind of existence, the same kind of DNA structure as I have,
right,
depending on the potency of what we do. So I can never pass. I will always live on. So
right.
In the context of what we're talking about, the black man, the black women, and the relationship of the black man and black women, we have to have knowledge itself. And the knowledge itself is that we have been under attack since we've been here. Since we were brought here the second time, we've always been hearing what they call now America's place. But we the second time we came under the guise and the haze of white supremacy, and we began to practice white supremacy in our own minds, in our own culture, and that became our culture. That became the culture of the black man, black woman, and child here in this American system. White supremacy under a veil, though, because we began to practice Christmas, paganism, Halloween, and all this stuff. And so we lost the knowledge of self. And so how do we get back to the knowledge of self? How do we, as black men and black women, get back to the knowledge of self so that we can remain immortalized in our children, so that our children will have the knowledge of self to immortalize their children, and our life will continue? Can you explain? Can you expound on that for me?
Yeah, I think conversations like this is a good way to start. Like us having them are good to amongst each other, but having these types of conversations and sharing them with the public will give others an opportunity to know that they're not crazy and thinking like how we think. And for those that might not know any better, to have something to look to and listen to and be like, or an aha moment.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Or a eureka moment. So I definitely think it starts with conversations like this. It starts with being real about what's going on. And I often say I wish that people would get mad at what's going on instead of picking it up and having it as baggage. You know what I mean? Like, be mad at the division instead of carrying a rock and scoring for the other team and doubling down on it. You know what I mean? So I think also getting to the root of their traumas will help. If a black man has trauma associated with his mother, it's going to affect his relationships with women. And if women have, the trauma associated with their father, it's going to affect their association with men, which again affect the children. So getting to the bottom of the triggers, having conversations like this, being real with oneself, and seeking knowledge and hearing knowledge and just being dripped in it, I think is a very good start. What about you?
Right. Yeah. Well, my thing. First of all, I want to say this, and then I'm I want to say, this is the last time we'll be talking for the day, and I would appreciate, you put it all together and get it to the public, and your accolades and everything you've done. Let the people know that you and your king that created a movie, and you're about to be in a movie, and things of that nature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The good things that is being processed, out in society, so that we can build as a nation, as a people. And so I wanted to say that. I also wanted to say that you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Darren C. Stanley, Instagram, Knowledge Born God Allah, YouTube, Knowledge Born God Allah 1. However, back to what you were saying about the process of our system and the way we have projected ourselves into this society, we have to learn from our own, basically. And what we just explained to the people is man, woman, and child. Man brings the knowledge to the wisdom. The woman is the wisdom. She takes in that knowledge and shines that light, that knowledge onto the children to get them clear understanding that we are immortal. We are immortal. We are a continuation of life. However, what is that life? Is that life programmed by somebody else? Or is that life programmed by us? And if it's programmed by us, then it should be for us. Right. And therefore, if that life is programmed by us and for us, then it's all about creating civilizations. Because if we recognize, if we come into the knowledge of self, knowing that we are the fathers and mothers of civilization, that we are here to teach, we're doing nothing but teaching society. And we have to sit our children down and tell them and show them how to be teachers, how to be leaders, how to be educators, how to be scientists, how to be themselves. Anything other than being themselves, they become slaves. And so it is our opportunity. We should not have to beg society for an education, and we should automatically give our own children. We should not have to beg a society for a job, and we should already automatically give our own children. We should not have to beg for food, clothing, and shelter, and we should already automatically give our own children. And the way we do these things is through the knowledge of ourselves. Because now once we have the knowledge of ourselves, we are more so geared to excellence and success than impoverishment and life-stricken society. And so you can take my life for an example. I was a scrambler. I was scrambling. I was doing all kind of things. I was scrambling. My mother became sick, and I started taking from white people, stealing money, and you know what I'm saying? And I was doing things. But that was a motivating factor to help my mother. I am the baby of my family, so I am my mother's child as well as my father's son. I am the son of man, but I am my mother's child. I took in all the emotions from my mother, who cried, hugged me. I think anybody that's the baby of the family know what happens to the baby with the mother. The mother grabbed the baby and hugged on to him, squeezing him. Right. So, but those things are was motivating factors for me to be going in the wrong direction. Even though I had the knowledge, I was still in the wrong. In other words, I was other than my own self. Had I been myself, I would have said, okay, this is what I am. I am a creator. I am an educator. I am a teacher. So therefore, let me go out here and create something. And let me go out here and teach something. And let me go out here and create something so that I can remain in the house that I live in with my family to take care of my mother, my first nurse, my first doctor, my first educator, that has enlightened me upon this life. You see what I'm saying? And from that stems a generation of culture. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how I see it, sis. That's how I see it. We have to start with each other. we have to start with each other. And when I say we have to start with each other, we have to start with each other, not, bickering and fighting, because, just this conversation alone will cause a disruption, and it's meant to. It's going to be the third, four-sided conversation, disruption. It's going to be a positive, negative. It's going to be in the middle, in between, a confusion. It's going to be everything, but it's positive. It's positive attraction. It's positive energy that attracts all to it. So everything is going to be attracted to this conversation. And there's going to be some people that's going to say, hey, well, what about us? How you feel about this? How you feel about that? How you feel about this? And they supposed to understand that we're talking about basically black men, women, and children. This universal family. We're not talking about black men, Bob and Bob, which has been propagated to society, where they're eliminating the process of black life, the reproduction of black life, by giving the black male an idea with bling bling and glitter with it to become a woman. That's irresponsible. That's other than yourself. And so we're not talking about that. We're not talking about the craziness of society. We're talking about the universal family. Black man, black woman, black child. How do we elevate this process? And the way I see it is to do exactly what we're doing. And I invite more sisters and more brothers to, contact me, contact Self Savior, contact Jay Rene, and, give us a call and let us know, hey, let's have a talk. Let's have a Zoom conference. Let's have a conversation that is geared toward our people. The people that is successful, what you consider success, and the people that may not be that successful. We want to hear from you. We want to hear how to make our communities better. Right. And how our reentry programs coming out of the belly of the beast are making our communities better, because it's a lot of black and brown people coming from these institutions. A lot of black men are getting out of prison. And we need to know, how these reentry...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
...is building and correcting and helping us correct our community. So with that said, sis, I appreciate this interview. I appreciate you. And thank you for your time and your patience. And please extend my peace to your king. And continue the good fight, sis, because you're a beautiful sister. Spread that beauty and that knowledge all across the world. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you too, brother. Keep up the good work.
No doubt. You take care of yourself, and I bid you peace.